It's time to breathe again on this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. So, see us together again. Patrick is with me, and as usual, we have a lot to cover. So, Patrick, let's start with getting our picks for Super Bowl 56 on record. So, we know the matchup. We have the LA Rams playing the Cincinnati Bengals. It's been kind of hyped on and on. Of course, the normal Super Bowl hype. First week, kind of look at some different storylines. And now, as we're getting closer to the game, you have the interviews going. And I guess they had a virtual media day. And now both teams are in town. Well, the Rams didn't have to go anywhere. They're just going down the street. But the team, both teams are in LA, in the LA area for the game. And I think last time I saw the line, the Rams were 4-point favorites. It might be four
Four,
and a half.
four and a
I'm not
half.
sure on that. I mean, I think it's four and a half, depending on where you go, because Caesar's Palace might have something different than MGM. So, I mean, I guess, but in general, it's four and a half. Who do you have, Patrick? Who will be your champion for 2021/22 NFL football year?
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm super excited for both of these quarterbacks. Um, both of them well deserved in becoming Super Bowl champions at this point. Um, Obviously, I'm rooting for Matthew Stafford a little more than Joe Burrows, not because he was a Georgia Bulldog by no means. I'm rooting for him because of the crap he had to go through in Detroit to get where he's at. And all of the people telling me he's not a good quarterback. And I'm like, do you see the crap he puts up with in Detroit? So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Even if Joe Burrows does win this or Matthew Stafford does win it, I'm going to be super excited for both of them. Like I said, both of them have worked their butt off to be where they're at, and both well deserved. And that's just the quarterbacks, not to mention uh, the head coaching, the coaching staff, all your primary positions, as well as everybody else on the team. And, both of these teams have worked really hard to get where they're at. But with that being said, I am leaning and I'm going with the LA Rams. Now I am rooting for the LA Rams because Matthew Stafford is a former dog. But um, I got the Rams winning, and I will say, and I'm also having to take in consideration of Joe Burrow's Cinderella season, who has just had a phenomenal season this year. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go LA Rams 27-21.
So quick story about Matthew Stafford. So I had heard something on the radio one day, and you talk about that. I call it disrespect toward Matthew Stafford, and people saying he's not a good quarterback and he's just a stat getter, I guess. Look, any stats you were able to put up in Detroit, those aren't empty stats. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what metric or whatever next gen stat people want to use. If you're able to put up any type of stats in Detroit, you're doing good. Matthew Stafford was a huge part of why Detroit was even able to get into the playoffs a few of those seasons.
Yep.
So just stop it with that. That's number one. Number two, I had heard on the radio, this was on CBS Sports Radio, one of the guys, and this is a person he's not too crazy about Matthew Stafford, but he said if Stafford was the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, they're not a 5 or 6 win team. I said that is insane. I know you don't like Matthew Stafford, that's one thing, but Really? So
To
so
totally
let me
disrespect him at that point, that is ridiculous.
that it's ridiculous. So let me get this straight. He's on a team right now with the Rams, who, if you were to ask me, they're pretty comparable to the Chiefs, and they
Mhm.
won 11 games this year.
Did they
You
not
mean to
win
tell
12?
me it might have been 12? Actually, yeah, it was 12. I think
Uh,
it was 12.
I was gonna say I think they won 12.
Um, yeah, so it was 12. So okay, proves the point better. Fact check me on that just to make sure, but I do think now that you say it, it was 12. But that proves the point even more. So
Yes,
he's on a
LA Rams
team with the
12 and 5.
Rams. Okay, so he's on the Rams, 12-5. The Rams are pretty comparable to the Chiefs, I would say. And they
Well, it
won
depends on
12
who you're
games.
looking. Depends on who you're talking to, because most of the people I know will tell you the Chiefs are better than the Rams.
There's a lot of there's a lot of ridiculous Patrick Mahomes hype when it comes to the Chiefs
I get
anyway.
it, totally understand.
So
But you know how people are. They're like, "Oh,
no,
he won't win 12. You're telling me he won't win 5, and the Chiefs, and you will also tell me the Chiefs team is better than the Rams."
no, I'm telling you, it's delusional. So
Oh, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying in general what people would normally say.
yeah, right. So, but I just thought it was just one of those things. I thought that was completely insane with the Rams being very, very comparable to the Chiefs, and they won 12 games with Matthew Stafford at quarterback. So you mean to
Yeah,
tell me he couldn't win 12 games with the Chiefs? Give me a break. Stop it.
yeah, I
Like
agree.
Patrick Mahomes is 7 games better than Patrick Mahomes. Give me a break. No, look again. Patrick Mahomes, great quarterback. I'm not trying to hate on him, but again, can can we cool it on the overhype?
I
Anywho,
agree.
not
Hey, one thing real quick, just to
Mhm.
cover your statement on the odds. They do have the Rams as a 4.5 point favorite, and they have the over under at 48.5.
Okay, so it hadn't changed much. Because I remember that over under was out there too. So it's been pretty
50 and a
consistent
half.
for
It was 50.5. Now it's 48.5.
so it's been pretty consistent since they came out with the original lines. It's been around that 4.5, and then I did hear that it was 50 at one time for the over under, and now it's 48.5. Um Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It's a pretty good stat there.
You there, Charles? You froze, dude. Come on, get some internet. All right. Well, until he gets back. Yes, the over under was 50.5. Now it's 48. I do have
I
them.
mean, that's going to be pretty close to what it's going to be.
Oh,
Okay,
hey,
yeah,
you cut out for like a minute and a half, bro.
I know. Yeah, it's yeah the net. Yeah, it might be a battle today. I'll explain later. But but the so the over under 48.5. Sorry about the technical difficulties there, by the way, people. But so the over under 48.5. Rams 4.5, 4 point favorites. I think that's pretty good, actually. It's going to be pretty close on either side. I don't have a shootout, or I don't have like necessarily a defensive struggle. But I guess getting back to the game, I know we kind of got on a little rant about the Chiefs, not about the Chiefs, whatever. We got all off season to talk about them. So we can the everything says the Rams. Like on paper, I think they have the better team. Uh, the defensive line probably gonna be some sort of a problem for the Bengals. Joe Burrow, I can see him taking about 5.
You froze again, dude. Well, I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna be a long show if you keep doing this. Come on. All right. Well, I'll pick up where he's leaving off.
It's gonna be a battle. So
Yeah, yeah. You were going for about 45 seconds that time.
It's gonna be in and out, man. So I'll just try to get the pick in real quick. Look like the Rams are better on paper. Defensive line pretty good. We know what they have with their Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd over there, Alshon Robinson. Secondary. I mean the Bengals have been playing pretty good defensively, but I would still give the edge to the Rams. On offense, that might be a wash. You know, the Rams have Cooper Kupp and OBJ to throw to over there. Their running game has been getting going with Cam Akers and Sony Michel. And the Bengals, they have 3 good receivers: Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and then you have Joe Mixon running the football. Everything says the Rams, man. I mean, they're playing in LA, even though that's not necessarily a great home field advantage, but you know they went all in on this year. Like, let's get all these people here and let's host the Super Bowl here and let's win it. But man, Patrick, I am feeling the Joe Burrow magic. I am drinking the Joe Burrow Kool-Aid. I think if the Bengals win, it'll be close. I can see the Rams winning pretty solidly if they win. I mean, like by 10 points. I can see that with the Rams. But I'm going to go the Bengals by a field goal, man. I have something like 26-23. I'm feeling the Joe Burrow magic, man. And also, I've been betting against the Bengals for the last few weeks, and it just came back to get me. Then again, I bet against the Rams, too. And that came back to get me. So maybe that's not the best. But yeah, I mean, I'm just feeling that Joe Burrow Kool-Aid. I think the Bengals have something. They got something special going, man. I'm feeling the Bengals here, even though it technically I think it probably should be the Rams I picked, but I'm gonna pick the Bengals.
Hey, look, dude, you falling in that same thing I did a couple of years ago. Well, not a couple, several years back when I kept telling you Cubs ain't winning. Okay, fine, Cubs are winning, and then they took a dump on me. Yeah, this now you get to see how I feel. Now, truthfully, look, you've been riding high on the Bengals, even though you didn't pick them, even in several of those playoff games. Even though you didn't pick them, you've been riding high with the Bengals all season.
The last 2, I did pick Tennessee and Kansas City to knock them out. Yes.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Those teams are really good. You know, I mean, geez, I even picked. Did I pick the Tennessee to win that game?
No, you was with me. Yeah, you had Tennessee winning too.
Yeah, I had Tennessee winning, and I know I had Kansas City winning for definitely. But man, like you said, man, there's just something about that team, you know. And truthfully, as you know, we say it a lot of times, man. Right now, they're playing with house money. You know, nobody expected them to get this far. Nobody. And you know, it does set a standard for next year. But man, I see where you're coming from, man. I like the score. I like the pick. Bengals are really good, and right now they're getting to play free, and that is a hard team to beat when you get to play free. And everybody's looking at the Rams going, we expect a championship, and everybody's looking at Cincinnati going, wow, good for y'all. That gives Cincinnati a lot of weight off their shoulders and stuff like that. I mean, I can definitely see Cincinnati winning. I like to pick, man.
Oh, look, Jonathan showed up. You know what? It's good to see you, Jonathan. Number 1. Number 2, I am
number 2, 1-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, and then what can I say? we won. It can be ugly all it wants, but we won. That's all I gotta say.
Number 2, I'm very surprised Jonathan showed up with his Chiefs going down in flames like they did. So we got to give him credit. It's
Hey, I
about
give you credit.
time. Jonathan, this is every week. This is every week. Don't act like you don't try to bring jokes either now. That's what I'm saying. Let's not act like we're the only ones trying to tell jokes here. But
God, see, this is. I miss when he's not on here, man. I do. I miss when he's not on here. I do.
Well, I'm glad you ain't scared, Jonathan. That's what's up. Uh, but yeah, man. So look, number one, bear with me with some of the technical difficulties. I cut out a couple of times if you're joining us late, so hopefully we'll be able to stay on. Number two, I'll say this real quick, Patrick, about the scenario with the Rams and the Bengals. So of course you got the Rams winning. What was it, 27-21? What's your score?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so I got the Bengals 26-23. Now, pressure, because people always talk about pressure, and you mentioned the Bengals are playing with house money. Yes, they are. I think from the standpoint of nobody expected them to be at this point. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't even expect them to win the AFC North. But like me, I didn't. I mean, I had the Ravens winning the division. So I mean, when it comes to that, yeah, they are playing with house money because a lot of people didn't expect them to be there. But you know how it is, Patrick. If you're here, you got to win it. There is no guarantee you're going to get back. So if you have the opportunity, the Bengals have to come in there. So why oh that's what's up. I see the 5-7 joke. I got you. I got you with that one. Don't think I didn't see that. Don't think I didn't catch that. It's all good. It's all good. I got you. Oklahoma is losing all their players to USC apparently. So y'all probably be 5-7 right there with us.
4-8, bro.
So,
Hope y'all don't play Georgia because y'all definitely 3-9.
How about that, Jonathan? You'd probably be right there 5-7 with us since everybody's leaving to follow Lincoln Riley. But anyway, back to the Super Bowl. We got Cincinnati. I won't say they have no pressure on them, but they have a little, just so they can go ahead and take it. I like how you wanted to come at Patrick with that. Oh, okay, he had a comment after that. I was about to say, wait a minute, you just gonna gloss over the fact y'all about to be 5-7? All right. So, but the Rams, though, they're all in for this. Chips all in, traded all these draft picks away to get Matthew Stafford, to get Jalen Ramsey, to get Von Miller, signed Odell Beckham. And then, of course, they paid a bunch of money to keep Aaron Donald there. So everything is for this game. And if they lose this, man, I do think the Rams have a window of this year and next year. After that, man, I think they have a lot of people they're going to have to sign. They're probably not going to have the money to do it. They have no draft picks till 2036. I mean,
the Roosters are coming to roost.
Yeah.
Basically.
So a lot riding on this
their
game.
horns.
So a lot riding on this game, of course, but either way, it should be a good one. I expect this to come down to the fourth quarter, just like pretty much all the playoffs from the divisional round on have been they've been literally field goal games. Like all the games have been field goals except for the Bills and Chiefs, and that one went to overtime. So yeah. So Jonathan, he got the Rams. Yeah, I mean, I can understand. I do think the Rams are the better team. But I'm feeling that Burrow magic, man. I'm with you, baby. Hey, this is one thing you and Patrick agree on.
I'm feeling that Cooper Kupp magic. That boy can straight play, dude.
Yeah, so, Cooper Kupp gets double teamed and still ends up open. I mean, that dude is.
I don't see how he does it. I really don't. Double and triple team, and that dude still finds a way to be open 25 yards down the field.
Well, Patrick, all right, man. So there's our picks on record. Be free to go ahead and put y'all picks on there too on the comments. And yeah, I see you, Jonathan. I got you. He's feeling up in Stafford Magic too. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if he just made that pick to disagree with me. Just that he mad that Oklahoma about to be sitting in the crowd. But so let's go on to these head coaching hires, Patrick. Now, there were nine openings. I mean, that's over a quarter of the teams in the league. 9 openings. So you have the New York Giants, Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Dolphins, Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints, Denver Broncos, Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, and I am missing one. One of them is escaping me right now. Because I said, yeah, New York, Jacksonville, Miami, Houston, New Orleans, Denver, Chicago, Minnesota. I can't think of that other one. But I know there was 9 openings that was there. No, I don't think so,
Jets.
Jonathan. Nah, I think, huh?
The Jets.
No, not was it the Jets? No, Jonathan, no, leave all the comments you want to leave. It doesn't matter when the subject is. It doesn't matter. It's all good. You can go ahead and continue to hate. I'm used to it now. It's cool. So, so I'm definitely used to it by now when you show up. So let's see. I'm trying to think of that last opening. Because it said Jacksonville, Miami. There's somebody else. All right, now I got to go through all the teams real quick. I'll give me a little bit of a minute here, and then I'll get back to the original point.
Raiders.
Yes, the Raiders. There we go. Yes, because they had the special teams guy, Rich Bisaccia, and then they just brought in Josh McDaniels for the coach. So there you go. 9 coaching vacancies have been filled now. Patrick, are you feeling any of these hires? Because I'm not.
I mean, truthfully, I guess if I was feeling one of them, well, okay, so the New Orleans Saints. Let's start with them.
Mhm.
With I don't like the hire because of who he's replacing. You know what I mean? But I mean, no, truthfully, no. I mean, no, I'm not feeling any of them. I was going to try to make an argument for at least one, but you know, when you look over, I mean, maybe the Giants weren't going anywhere, and honestly, anything will probably be better than what they had. So I'd probably say the Giants. I'd be feeling that one. But other than that, I don't, and I don't even remember who the Giants hired.
They hired Brian Daboll. He was
Brian
the
Daboll.
offensive coordinator
Yep.
for the Buffalo Bills.
No, I honestly I like that hire. I do, because I think it's an upgrade from what they had. Truthfully,
So, all right. Jonathan brought up the Texans. So Patrick, specifically, I want to talk about them and the Miami Dolphins just for a little bit here. Um, the other hires, I'm with you with the Giants hire. I mean, because you're getting an offensive guy in there who had a hand in helping Josh Allen develop to what he is today. You hope as the Giants brass, he could do the same thing for Brandon or for Daniel Jones. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I already said that, Jonathan. Thanks for being late though. But but
I was fixing to say something, but I'm not gonna say it.
yeah, it's all good. No, the Josh McDaniels hire for the Raiders, that could be interesting. I would like to think with him, he has learned. Of course, we remember he had gotten the head coaching gig in Denver a couple of years ago, or not a couple of years ago, about a decade ago. And it's all good. I got you, Jonathan. Thanks for coming back with us. But Josh McDaniels, he sounded like I heard part of his press conference getting introduced to the Raiders. What the hell is that?
Something to ignore.
Yeah, and he sounded like a guy who kind of gets it now. It wasn't just kind of going in there thinking, hey, I'm a Bill Belichick disciple. You got to listen to me because I was on that crew. He sounds like a guy who understands now, hey, it's about building the team, building relationships. I would like to think that's a good hire for the Raiders. But I guess it just kind of remains to be seen. I'm kind of there. That one and the Brian Dable hire for the Giants, I'm kind of favorable toward those. Jacksonville getting Doug Peterson, I like that hire too. I I guess it depends on what Doug Peterson you're gonna get. If you get the guy who was the Super Bowl winning coach with the Philadelphia Eagles, then maybe Trevor Lawrence is in good hands. But that's the biggest thing, Patrick. Trevor Lawrence, you
I don't.
cannot miss.
He can't. He's got to do everything in his power to make Trevor Lawrence what he could be. My personal opinion, I don't like the hire. I think there was somebody. I think there's probably tons of other coaches that they probably could have got other than him. But I mean, truthfully, I don't think you're going to get. I don't think you're going to get the same guy that you got in Philly.
Just kind of seemed like something that just kind of lined up really well for the Eagles, and they were able to just kind of pull on through and take advantage of the momentum. But
I think so because the next year they didn't do crap.
yeah, well, no, they made the playoffs.
But I mean,
they made the playoffs. Look, no one really had the Eagles winning the Super Bowl even the year they did. So I think,
and that's what I'm saying. And okay, so they came back the next year, they win the playoffs, but then what happened after that?
They made the playoffs.
They made it 3 years in a row. Bull crap.
They did. Yep. So in 2018, they lost to the Saints in the divisional playoff, and then in the next year, they got knocked out. Now they didn't make it far. They got knocked out in the wild card round by the Seahawks, but they won. They won the division in 2019. 2018, they did not. It was actually the Cowboys who won the division. But whatever. Not a Cowboy show. But they
Where's Dominic?
I know, right? Goodness, he missed it. But I think a lot of the other hires, the Chicago hire, I wasn't a fan of because they hired the old defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts, Matt Eberflus. And this was just my personal rule, Patrick. If you were a coach at the Indianapolis Colts this year, you were automatically disqualified from getting any type of head coaching consideration after that collapse you had in Jacksonville. So,
I agree with you.
Yeah. The
I would put everybody on suspension for at least 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
and just had them not just play without a coach for the next 2 years.
Yeah. So and then Minnesota, I guess they're gonna hire the Rams offensive coordinator. I forget his name. I want to say it's like Kevin McConnell or something like that. So they're supposed to be hiring him, and then our offensive coordinator for the 49ers went down to be the coach for Miami. So, and then you have Mike McDaniel is his name. And then you had Denver hired the Green Bay Packers offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett. A lot of people think that's just a power play to try to get Aaron Rodgers over there. I still don't think Aaron Rodgers is leaving, but whatever.
You don't know where?
Yeah. So we'll see. But the reason why I wanted to talk about Miami and Houston a little bit in particular is because, Jonathan brought up the Texans hiring Lovie Smith. Let's start there. The Houston Texans are a S show and a clown show rolled into one. They have no idea what they're doing at all. And I think Lovie Smith is just kind of, I hate to say this, Jonathan, and you might disagree with me, but I just kind of feel like Lovie Smith is not too much better than what David Culley was in last year. Like just kind of a placeholder until they find whoever their guy is. I mean, yeah, you can say it sounds like UT. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I got you. We've had coaches come in like at least every 3 or 4 years, not every year. Let's get it right, Jonathan. Let's make sure we have the right facts there. So,
I mean, I will say this about Lovie Smith: he probably will have a better record than 4-13.
I mean, 5-12.
That's why I was going to say maybe 4-12-1.
Yeah, because the Texans are a mess. And here's the thing, also with the Texans, from all the reports, they wanted to hire Josh McCown. Josh McCown, of course, is a quarterback who's been on I don't know how many teams backing up, just getting them checks though. I can't hate. He has he had no head coaching experience, but apparently this was the guy that the Texans wanted to get. Also, Brian Flores, who of course we discussed in detail last week with the lawsuit he has against the league, was supposedly a finalist for that job. Number one, Brian Flores was not going to get that job. There is no owner in the league that is going to sign off on having him as their coach, especially when he's got a lawsuit against the league. That wasn't happening. If the Texans really wanted Josh McCown, then hire Josh McCown. That's the thing. And then take those bullets, take those questions that were going to come. To me, Lovey Smith sounds like they're trying to meet all angles here. They're trying to check the box that says we don't have a head coach that doesn't have any head coaching experience, while also trying to check the box of, hey, we're hiring a minority candidate. Yeah, that's kind of how it seems to me. And so you said, there you go, Jonathan. So you agree with me. Lovey is a stopgap. Yes, that's what I feel. And it's sad because Lovey has had success in the league. Yeah, took the Chicago Bears to a Super Bowl a decade or so ago. So
I
it's
will
not
say
like
this about
Lovey's.
Lovey. I will say this about
Yeah.
Lovey.
What's that?
His beard looks pretty good, man.
I seen the beard. Yes, it was pretty comparable to yours until you shaved it. But
Until I changed it, yeah. Well, you know what? It's nice and full, man. It looks
yeah,
good
it
on him.
is.
Looks good on him.
It is.
That's for him.
I mean, I hope Lovey can do something there, but that Houston situation is such a hot mess. And even when Deshaun Watson was playing, they weren't doing anything. I mean, they had Deshaun Watson for a full season. Last year, and they went. I don't remember the record. It was either 4-12, 5-11, one or the other.
I think it was 5-11.
So yeah, but they weren't good even with Deshaun Watson there. With him or without him, yeah. I mean, I felt like David Coley did good to get that team to 4 wins. I mean, Houston is a hot mess. As for the Dolphins, you got, they said, the San Francisco 49ers offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel, is coming in. This is what's crazy, and this is why you're right, Jonathan. Bill O'Brien was awful.
He did.
He was terrible for Houston. But here's the thing for Miami. Since 2000, Patrick, they have had 11 head coaches. I heard that stat the other day. 11 head coaches since 2000. That is literally a change in head coaches every other year. There's no way you're going to get any type of continuity with that roster if you continue to change head coaches every 2 years.
That often. I mean, we always say you got to at least give them 3 years.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Oh, hey, Jonathan. So remember, still, since you've been hitting up Texas, of course, throughout this program, I gotta ask you: were you one of those people burning up jerseys, writing traitor on all the statues up there in Norman when Lincoln Riley bolted to USC, and then Caleb Williams followed him? Let me know. I want to know. Just give me an update. Let me check. Give me the temperature up there in Norman, up there in OKC. Give me a local report. I kind of know because I'm only 2.5 hours away, but I just want to know from somebody who's on the ground. Are y'all burning Lincoln Riley paraphernalia? Like, are y'all burning jerseys? But like, what's going on? Are y'all burning Caleb Williams jerseys? Give me an update, Jonathan. I want an update.
Yes,
local
they
update.
are.
Yeah, but in all, Patrick, with these head coaching hires, I said I'm not really feeling any of them. There are a few that could be good, that could work out, but
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I'm I'm having a little bit of a tough time believing any of these are going to lead to anything
Like
huge.
I said, the only one that I really agree with is the Giants. That's it. Other than that, I mean, a lot of them are fillers like Lovey Smith. I mean, I honestly, and I'm rooting for Santa Smith up there, man. I hope he does something, and that'd be awesome. But I don't know with that with that with that roster, I just don't see much going on.
It's a stopgap, man. I'd say. I mean, I really don't see Lovey Smith keeping that job past next year. To me, I would be surprised if he keeps it 2 years. It would definitely not surprise me if the Houston Texans are in this same spot next year, looking for another head coach. It wouldn't surprise me at all, man. Unfortunately, and it's just because of
I,
that dysfunction.
yeah, might hire Tom Brady.
If he ain't back playing, so
If he ain't
I,
playing.
I'm still not all
Everybody,
the way on. He retired, man. I
not
can
either,
fully see
man. I
him
think he comes
back.
back. He might miss 1 year. He might miss 1 year, and he'll come back and he'll be like, "I'm ready." Throwing the ball 10 yards deeper than he was last year. He needs to throw 70 yards, but hey, whatever.
Oh man. So goodness, what is going on YouTube, man? It's like the hackers some came in and wanted to get
Like
us
the
to
hackers don't know how to type.
yeah. Apparently, I'm gonna say they are from somewhere in like the Russia, Belarus, Soviet Union, or old Soviet Union category.
Probably.
That's the language it looks like. So,
Probably.
but nah, man. So before we move on to the NBA, Patrick, remember I mentioned we had to throw somebody into the STFU club, and
It's been a
to be
while since
honest,
somebody's gotten in there.
I know, man. And look, maybe since I hadn't been feeling all that great, maybe something just kind of escaped my radar. But the radars are back. Radars are back. Let me see. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Honestly, no, and he's glad he's gone. You know what? So, Jonathan, real talk. Real talk here. This is not me trying to throw shade. No, nothing. I always felt Lincoln Riley was a guy who. Okay, number one, I think he's a crybaby. Number one, we'll go there.
Which will lead to him being his cream puff that Jonathan
Yes.
mentioned.
Number two, I feel like he was just kind of handed a gift from Bob Stoops. The program was in good hands, and this is coming from a guy I cannot stand Oklahoma, but this is just being objective here. Oklahoma was in good hands with Bob Stoops. Lincoln Riley got a gift. He didn't have to build the program. He really didn't have to do anything. He just kind of had to just keep going what had been built for you guys under Bob Stoops. And yes, he did not run the football at all. He's trying to throw the ball all the time. And I'm with you with the Venables hire. Patrick and I have had this discussion. That was probably the yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. And so, look, man, I feel Patrick will tell you, man, I felt like the Brent Venables hire was one of the best hires that happened. That I really feel that way, and I feel like by getting him, you're addressing a need right away to get better defensively. And that was always kind of the mess that was haunting Oklahoma, especially when you got into the playoffs. Played the SEC teams, could not stop them. And I'm gonna do this, Jonathan. So you might hate me some more for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and just point out these numbers here. Y'all gave up 37 points to Clemson in 2015 playoffs. Y'all gave up 54 to Georgia. 54 to yeah, over half 100 in the playoffs in 2017. Next year, y'all gave up 45 points to Alabama in 2018 and 63 points to LSU in 2019. That great team with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and all those other guys. Yep. Hey, see, so there you go,
Mhm.
Jonathan. See, we're agreeing, and that's the thing. Lincoln,
Yeah,
I've always just
he
felt
had
like,
brand new tires on that Rolls Royce.
yeah,
He had it. He had it nicely polished. It
yeah.
was clean. He had it. He even had it detailed inside and out. It was looking pristine. And that fool went through and went four wheeling. That's what he did in a
Yeah,
Rolls
I
Royce.
mean, but
You don't do that.
and that's
Um,
the thing. And that's the
but
thing,
yeah,
man,
go
because
ahead and finish, Charles, and I'll say what I got to say after that.
no, it's all good, man. Like I was pretty much done. Just I just felt like Lincoln Riley was handed a gift. And I'm not trying to say he's a bad coach. I do think overall Lincoln Riley is a good coach, but as he's going to USC, like I said, I don't see him doing much at USC just for this simple fact. He has to build the program now. USC is kind of in the doghouse right now. If he is able to build that program, yes, they can run the Pac 12 conference. There's not too much competition out there in the Pac 12 conference, but it's going to be pretty much the same thing.
But
Face
he's
the
going to get
SEC
steamrolled
team,
by anybody in the SEC.
yeah, because they're not going to have the defensive pieces there. So he's going to recruit for offense. I mean, you see Caleb Williams followed him out there. And personally, I'm questionable about Caleb Williams. He had some good games, but when they played good defenses, he struggled. He struggled against Baylor. He struggled mightily. Got benched for Spencer Rattler in that game. And then Iowa State struggled in that game. If they didn't get a couple of, I know they got one defensive touchdown in there. If the defense didn't stood them up there, then they probably would have lost that game too. But yeah, I'm with you, Jonathan. I look, me personally, I think he'll have success in USC from a conference standpoint, not winning any national titles out there in USC because, like Patrick said, they're going to face a SEC team that's more complete, and they're going to get steamrolled.
Yep. And that's if they get through the Big Ten with what the Big Ten is doing with Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and that's just to name four teams. And in the Big Ten or the Big Ten is getting better. I'm not going to say that they are going to come in and steamroll every team in the SEC, but I can say that they could beat a few of them in the SEC. I do feel that Alabama and Georgia are just on a complete another level right now, and Texas A&M ain't backing down on their recruiting either, as they finished one. You know what I mean? So I mean and this is to go back on Oklahoma. When you're giving up those many points, that lets you know that you are offensive. You are offensive driven. You can throw, and I say it all the time. You can throw 40 points up, but if the other team's throwing 45, it don't matter. You're still losing. You know, so that was the one problem I had. That's the one problem I have with Riley is that that's what he does is he's so offensive driven, and Jonathan said it. It's like he's 7-on-7 out there, and he doesn't think he needs to run the ball. It's ridiculous on what he sees as he sees the offense and defense. You have to have a defense if you're going to compete in college football nowadays, and the SEC is showing you that. So if that's the reason why me and Charles I agreed with Charles with this when we had the conversation. I think Venables is a great hire for Oklahoma, and they are going to improve very well on that defense. So to me, it was and I agreed with Charles on this too. It was one of the best hires in college football this year, the best hire. So I think Oklahoma is going to be good. I have certain feelings about Oklahoma and Texas coming into the SEC, but that's for a different topic for another time. But I think it was a great hire, and Oklahoma has got to get some defense, man. When you're allowing 56 points to some teams, 63, 43, whatever they are, you cannot win if you're allowing that many points per game.
Yeah, yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, man. I don't. There was a couple of comments that Jonathan said, okay, yeah, so is Lincoln Riley leaving for the NFL? But honestly, I thought he was going to leave Oklahoma for the NFL. Like I didn't before he went to USC. I honestly did not see any job he would have left for in college because he had it made so well in Oklahoma.
Until
And
USC offered him that deal. Holy crap.
oh, it's a ridiculous deal. Yeah,
Oh,
private jets and all
absolutely
that.
insane. He would be a fool not to take it. I still think he bounced from Oklahoma because he was afraid that what if he didn't take it, he was going to be coaching in the SEC, not next year, but the year after that. And that scared the crap out of him. I do admit that. So I think he bounced because of that. But
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, he didn't want no part of that. He didn't want no part of the SEC. I'm totally with you there. But yeah, I thought before that USC offer came, it was going to be maybe trying to go to the Cowboys. Since he hold on, what do you say? Okay, he was just something there. Okay, so yeah, all right, I see it. So Perlon Winfrey, all right. So that's the defensive lineman that was there in Oklahoma, and I guess he won the Senior Bowl. Jonathan, the Senior Bowl, I mean, it's kind of scrimmagey.
I don't even count that as a football game.
Yeah. the Senior Bowl is kind of scrimmagey to me. Is that too much better than the Pro Bowl? You know?
Dude, it's a play-in game just like the first round in baseball. Just like the NFC and AFC. I don't even know why they have these all-star games anymore. Just nobody watches that crap.
Well, now
polishing a turd.
So Winfrey, Winfrey is a good player when he was able to kind of do his thing. I mean, he could wreck in the defense. Now, he said something about Georgia here, Patrick. He said he seriously doubt they stuck that much in Georgia. Well, Georgia doesn't. All right, I would never say that I know more about your team than you do, Patrick. But Georgia did a little bit of everything. Now, they could beat you man up, but they definitely stunned it a little bit against Bama.
And I'm going to say just a little bit.
Yeah, why?
A lot of times they don't have to, though. That's the thing is a lot of times they don't have to. They're
bigger and stronger than a lot of the teams.
Say that again.
They're bigger and stronger than a lot of the teams, so they could just.
They are, and that was shown throughout the year. The thing is that Georgia has a tendency to make offenses play to their strengths, and that's what Georgia has. That's what they put their entire defense on. It's the reason why they were so strong. And it also helps if you have Kirby Smart, who is a defensive coordinator, to help facilitate that along. So Georgia doesn't really have to stunt that much, but you obviously see that during the SEC game, they didn't do it because they were trying to get Alabama to play to Georgia's strengths. Well, Alabama, it's Nick Saban. Dude, you're not going to get Nick Saban to come off of his game. You have to really try to get him off of his game. So when Georgia tried to play their man defense, Alabama spanked them. So you cannot let Bryce Young sit in the pocket for 3 or 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and expect that this man is going to make a mistake. You can't. You have to blitz him. And when Georgia saw that, that's what they did. So no, they can play it. It's just sometimes they choose not to. And it bit them in the butt in the SEC championship.
So, all right, Patrick. Well, hey, we got a couple more topics. So we're going to put a pin in this. We're going to get back to the whole coaching thing, that college. This is a great topic when it comes to college and what these coaches are going to do, them going out there, leaving, all that other stuff. So, yes, Jonathan, we will get to the NBA after.
We're doing it right now.
Put somebody in the STFU club. And, Jonathan, you're going to like this one because the person that needs to go into the STFU club is Kyler Murray. Yes, Kyler Murray needs to go into the STFU club because apparently he scrubbed his social media of anything that was Arizona Cardinals. So now everybody is over here asking, oh, what does this mean? Is he unhappy with the Cardinals? Blah, blah, blah. You know what? If the Cardinals go ahead and let him go or whatnot, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for saying this. I don't think it's that big of a loss. I don't think Kyler Murray is that good. That's just me. Can he scramble? Yes. Can he make some pocket throws? Yes. My problem with Kyler Murray, and this is just me looking at it from the outside, he's not a good leader, Patrick. Like his body language. Yeah, like his body language is awful. If things go wrong, this dude is pouting. He's throwing his hands up at people like, "Oh, why did you run that route?" And then, I mean, he had an interception that horrible. I know you remember that interception he threw in the playoff game against the Rams, where he's getting sacked and then he just chucked this bad boy.
He just chunked it, and it's like it was a desperation throw. I mean, I
Jonathan,
wouldn't go that far, Jonathan.
you think he's the best in the league or one of the best in the league? Tell me where he's at. Is he top 10? Is he top 15? Where's he at? I
definitely put him in the top.
I think he's between 10 and 15 personally.
I definitely put him in the top 40.
So CFL status, XFL status.
I would say more like second string.
So yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, yeah, this is a posturing for money. His contract is coming due, so I mean, I get that. Yeah, top 10. All right. So is he top 10 stats wise, or just how you feel? Like, I mean, yeah, the stats. Yeah, he puts up stats. I'm not debating he doesn't put up stats, but I'm talking about from a leadership, and you're a coach. You're a coach, Jonathan, so you would know better than even you and I, because we're not coaching right now. We could, but we're not coaching right now. So,
I don't want to. I could, yeah. But I don't want to.
So yeah, but no, Jonathan, I'm not disagreeing with the numbers. I know he puts up numbers, but a lot of them are not. They're not really contributing to them going anywhere far. They might be able to get to the playoffs, but after a while, his leadership, well, yeah, they'll get rid of Cliff Kingsbury before they get rid of Kyler Murray. Yeah, I got you there. But Kyler, to me, he's not the leader that you need to get to the promised land. Like, for an example, you might have missed this at the beginning, but of course, we were talking about the Super Bowl and we were talking about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has that whole team believing in him. He has that whole city believing in him. Cincinnati was a 4-win team last year. 4-win team. 2 wins before that, I think.
10 and 7, and they're Super Bowl bound right now.
Yeah, and they're Super Bowl bound. That's what I don't think Kyler Murray has. Yes, he can put up the numbers, but does he have that leadership? Can he get those teammates of his to believe in them? And that's where I think he's missing. And then him over here trying to scrub imposter. Look, if you got a problem, well, look, whatever happened to conversations? Whatever happened to sitting it out face to face? Why do we have to go on social media? He's calling him Macaulay Culkin. I love it. He does look like Macaulay Culkin. But why do we have to go to social media to air our grievances out?
You know, it'd be funny if Joe Burrows wins the Super Bowl, throws a game-winning touchdown, and
yes, Home Alone style, absolutely.
And then points and says, "Jonathan."
Yeah, look at Jonathan. Kevin, yep. And so but that's what I think. And now for him, and yes, for Kyler Murray over here trying to posture, airing his grievances out here on social media, I'm gonna scrub everything Arizona Cardinals off my profile. STFU club, here he comes. Kyler Murray, newest member of the STFU club.
You know what all I can see right now?
What?
LeBron James, Kevin Durant, all of them saying, "Welcome home, buddy.
Yeah.
Welcome home."
Yeah. I mean, those two, LeBron James and Kevin Durant, they were on that club from our first episode.
They were first round nominees, and they got in. Those were the first two, I think.
Well, Patrick, hey man, we got about 7 minutes left before we get to that hour mark, or about 6 minutes now. So let's hit up the NBA, man. There's the trade deadline coming up on Thursday. So got you, Jonathan. I'll address it in a little bit. But the NBA trade deadline is Thursday. You have a lot of rumors, including James Harden and Ben Simmons and all that, but whatever, screw them. CJ McCollum got traded from the Portland Trail Blazers to the New Orleans Hornets today. And there was a lot of people excuse me, there were a lot of people who were upset at that trade because I guess they're like, oh, well, when Portland's giving up. I'm like, what has Portland done with him there? Portland hasn't done anything with him and
Wait,
Damian
hold on.
Lillard together.
Who,
So
where did he get traded to?
New Orleans, not the. Did I say the New Orleans Hornets? My bad. The Pelicans,
Yeah, I
the New
think it's the
Orleans
Pelicans.
Pelicans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Pelicans.
Just making sure because I was like, I didn't hear no more.
No, nah, man.
Okay.
Thanks for catching me on that. I'm over here thinking like back in the day when they were called the Hornets. The New Orleans Pelicans got traded for Josh Hart and I think a few draft picks as well. A lot of people were sitting there upset about it. And I'm just like, well, Portland wasn't doing anything anyways. They were banging their head against the wall, staying status quo. Really didn't matter. It was about time they broke that team up anyway. And they probably going to have to start over anyway. We'll see if Damian Lillard is the guy that they decide to rebuild around. But, I mean, Portland, that present crew, they weren't going anywhere. There was also a trade with Sacramento and Indiana that sent Sabonis to Sacramento for Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield. So Sacramento they were not really, I guess they didn't feel like Halliburton could play together with De'Aaron Fox. So they went ahead and made this trade. I actually don't mind it for each team because Indiana is pretty much rebuilding too. So, I mean, they traded Karis LeVert to Cleveland. So I mean, it's not there's not like I guess any blockbuster trades going on, but right now seems like maybe the right trades. The things that I'm looking at is to see what I want to see what the Memphis Grizzlies do. They're sitting at number 3 in the West behind Phoenix and Golden State, and I think they need, but me personally, I think they need another scorer if they're gonna get with those two teams. They need another scorer to help out Ja Morant down there in Memphis. So I'm interested to see what they do. I know a lot of people want to see if Brooklyn makes a trade or if Philly makes a trade. I don't really care about them. I think Brooklyn is a complete dumpster fire right now anyway. And
Steadily falling.
Yeah, I mean, they done lost. I mean, they were losing big to Boston earlier tonight too. So
and I think they did lose because they're on a last time I checked, it was a 9-game losing streak.
Yeah, I mean Boston was beating them 69-43. So last time I checked that
Let's see what they ended up with that score being. I'll check it while you're talking.
Nah, man, I mean, that is pretty much it, man. I mean, I don't see a whole bunch happening with this trade deadline. I think most of the teams are gonna stay pat. I mean, because like the Lakers, there's really nothing they can do. They're pretty much stuck with what they have, so they'll continue to be garbage. More
Celtics ended up beating them 126-91.
Now, see, Brooklyn, because you got Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's out right now with a sprained MCL in his knee. Harden's been in and out of lineup. Kyrie Irving, look, he's a part-time player. He can only play road games, but like I told you before, even him playing half road games, that's more availability than what you normally have with Kyrie. So, so Brooklyn is an absolute mess. Absolute mess.
Hey, man, how about them Hawks?
The Hawks are starting to put things together, man. They had a slow start, and now they're starting to come around. They're starting to kind of hit their stride. So we'll see what the Hawks are able to do. I mean, I felt like they could be one of the better teams in the East. The Eastern Conference looks pretty strong, like stronger than it has. We know Milwaukee is right there. Chicago is playing good ball. The Heat are right there, among others. And then you mentioned the Hawks. Cleveland is actually playing some good ball too. So, I mean, there are some teams in the East. That's not going to be a cakewalk for anybody to come through that conference.
Yeah.
Philly is playing well even. I mean, Joel Embiid is looking like the MVP of the league. So, like right now, he's looking like the MVP. This dude is putting up 30, he's putting up 40.15 rebound games on the regular right now. So
Yeah.
this dude is beasted. But it'll be
Just,
interesting to
just I
see.
mean, just to put this out there as a perspective, man. I mean, Miami's #1 and Atlanta's 10, and there's an 8.5 game difference. So picture all of that going through, 2 through 7 or 2 through 9, and then in the Western Conference, you got the Phoenix Suns #1 and the New Orleans Pelicans, and there's 22.5 games. So, I mean, just from Golden State to Memphis from Phoenix to Memphis is a 7.5 game, and that's 1-3. So you're looking at 1-6. Oh, well, hold on. Before we even match 7.5, we're at 1-9 in the Eastern Conference. So, first seed or #1 seed into the #9 seed before you even get to 7 game difference. So, yeah,
For
that
the
Eastern
first,
Conference is looking strong.
for the first time in a while, the Eastern Conference looks like the conference that has more depth in it. And we haven't been able to say that in the NBA for
In a long time.
ever. I mean, ever. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens at the trade deadline. Like I said, I don't see anything too much happening, anything big, maybe some trades here or there to kind of strengthen the depth, but I'm not seeing any blockbusters. I mean, Philadelphia still acting dumb with Ben Simmons. They're still acting like they can get 3 first-round picks and stuff. And then that whole rumor between them and James Harden. Me personally, if you now you want Harden, you should have did that when he was with Houston, as far as I'm concerned, because Ben Simmons' value was way higher at that time. If you were gonna do it, but now you're gonna be like, oh yeah, man, let's see if we can get 3 first-round picks for Ben Simmons. Give me a break. If you a team and you make that deal, you should be fired. You need to lose your job.
Yep.
You're the GM. You need to go. Do
You
not
need
give
to
up
just
that.
go ahead and sail.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead and put your team out there with the Denver Broncos and just sail.
Yeah, there you go.
Because obviously you need new ownership if you're going that far.
Well, all right, Patrick. I guess it's time for us to get on out, man. That will do it for this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. Y'all make sure y'all catch the Breath of Fresh Air, or excuse me, make sure y'all visit the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel and smash that subscribe button and keep the lights coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. Jonathan, thanks for getting up in here, commenting, man. It's been a while since we heard you. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there.
And the Lakers are steadily falling too.
Yeah, and Golden State to me, they're the favorites, if you ask me. Now with Klay Thompson back, and you're gonna get Draymond Green back, and those young players playing like that. I know people are high on Phoenix as well, and I think Phoenix will be there. But to me, man, I just love the Splash Brothers, man. Curry and Thompson back together, that is lethal. So, Jonathan, man, thanks for getting in here, coming back, man, leaving the comments, man. Even though you've been coaching and doing that thing, man, I hope that's working out good for you, man. I remember doing the interview about your coaching with you, man, and it's good to see you still doing well in that regard, man. Keep coming in, and yes, I agree. As always, man, it was fun. Keep it coming.
Absolutely.
And
keep teaching those kids the right way, man. That's all I say.
Yep.
And thank you for what you do. Teach them right. That's all I ask.
So with that, man, I ain't finishing that. Give me a break. Nah, man. I'll do. You know what? Look, I'll do that if you throw up a hook 'em horns one day. And so with that, y'all take care. Everybody have a good rest of the week, and we will see you at the same time next week. Y'all take care.